the collective energy is chaotic. It is a purge of like negative energy. It is a lot, and my body is feeling it. I was supposed to work today, my part-time job, and then I looked at the schedule before leaving just to make sure like what time my call time was. And I was no longer on the schedule, but I hadn't had an email, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not working today. Like, talk about divine intervention, because there is no way that I could have worked. Like, I feel so sick right now. And I've been sick, and it's not even just the voice. Like, the voice is actually getting better, if you can tell, if you've seen my other videos. I want to talk about like what is going on right now, and like energy, like the divinely planned, divinely timed events and like movies and stuff. And oh, look at that. I am just, with my bedding and my sweatshirt because I'm cold, themed for Wicked, which is a great segue because I want to talk about that. So, back in 2004, I read the book Wicked by Gregory Maguire. I loved it, and I was so excited when it was going to be a Broadway musical. I was like, that's amazing. Maybe I'll get to see it. Maybe I'll go to NYC, or maybe it'll come to Detroit for Broadway in Detroit. And then I saw who they cast for Elphaba, and I'm like, no, that is not who Elphaba should be. Elphaba, in the story by Gregory Maguire, her experience, her lived experience, parallels the lived experience of Black women in America. And I'm not going to go see the Broadway musical until they cast a Black actress. Well, they never did. At least not that I've ever seen, whether it was New York City or in Detroit. So if it's been elsewhere, like, pardon me for getting that part wrong. But I was so excited when they did cast a Black actress for the movie version. And I was like, okay, John Chu clearly read the books. And not just the first book, but like the series of books, and knows who Elphaba is supposed to be and represent, understands the symbolism. And so I went and saw Wicked 2, or Wicked for Good, yesterday. And when I was leaving, there were comments like, people were like, oh, I didn't think it ended like that. Or, oh, that's not what I was expecting. Oh, that was so different than the musical or whatever. And I'm like, wow, some of y'all really have no idea that there's a whole book that exists. And the Broadway musical is not really aligned to the book. I've never seen the musical. I've seen clips, and I still refuse to see it because it is not really aligned to the book. But John Chu aligned the movie to the book, and I love that because the symbolism in the book is an allegory. So it's not just a reimagining of the Wicked Witch and her story, but it's an allegory of what it's like to be part of an oppressed group in America. It's also an allegory on the fact that women are truly magical. It is women that hold the most magic. Not to say a man can't be magical, but it is inherent to every single woman, whether she knows it or not. And again, not to say it's not something that is natural to men. There are plenty of men that are magical, okay? But every woman is, whereas not every man is, okay? And when you grow a human being in your body, you truly understand the magic of being a woman. And the book, which was displayed in the movie by John Chu, is reminding us women that when we remember our magic and our power, and that we don't need no man to tell us what our power is. We don't need men to control our power. We don't need men to separate us. When we realize that it's not certain types of women against other types of women, and that when white women can join with black women and Asian women and disabled women and neurodivergent women and poor women and rich women and women of every single culture, that is when we take our power back. And that is truly threatening to weak men who wish they had the power that women naturally are born with. Naturally. And it is through living in the patriarchy that has existed for millennia that we as women are told that we are not magical and that magic is dangerous. It is wicked. It should be shut down. And only through science and engineering and sleight of hands can one be magical. But when you create an entire human being in your own body and you birth that human being, that is truly magical. And no man, no biological man, can do that at all. And that's not to say you have to be a mother to be magical. If you're a woman, you're magical. Period. And you were born magical. And there are a lot of men and boys that are magical too. My nephew is magical. And he calls me his magical Mimi. That's where I got my name from. He's 10 now, but as a toddler, he said that I was his magical Mimi. And, you know, you're not really seen until a toddler sees you. Just a little tidbit. But the themes of Wicked are about tearing down the patriarchy. It's about women coming together and remembering our power. And we are coming together. We are, because this is the rise of the divine feminine. We are at the precipice of the reign of the divine feminine. And the reign of the divine feminine is a matriarchy. And no, a matriarchy is not the opposite of the patriarchy. The matriarchy is love and honoring all of humanity, all beings and life on earth, and not othering people, not othering beings, not creating a hierarchy. It is true equality and equity. That is the matriarchy. And spoiler alert, that is the end of Wicked for Good. And of course it came out right now. Of course it did. Of course. Because we are this close to the patriarchy being destroyed once and for all. Go to part 2. I have more to say. So go to part 2.